Newfound Parkinson's trick. If you don't want to be caught shaking, just carry a fish. Thank you.
I'm gonna show you this clip of the Parkinson's hand, of Joe Biden's hand. Now this is something that, of course, only we notice because we're quite autistic like that. But here is Joe Biden's hand at an event in Philadelphia 2 days ago. You'll notice that Joe Biden, I don't have a microphone, but I have something somewhat close. You'll notice his hand continues to tremor. Why would that be? Well, maybe Joe Biden's just tired. But then video after video after video shows Joe Biden's hand tremoring in various different scenarios, right? Joe Biden was at a black church pandering, scared out of his mind, clearly, because Joe Biden in the black church, he always looks like, he's terrified. He's like this close to calling 911. Joe Biden is so scared that Corn Pop, right, is going to pop up, and finally with his razor blade and his rusty chain, come for his revenge, right? Corn Pop's revenge. I would totally buy a ticket. Make that movie, please, Hollywood. Anyway, what I'm saying here is that at that church, you can see Joe Biden's hand doing the same thing. Why is Joe Biden's hand tremoring? Now, tremors in the hand is actually one of the first signs of Parkinson's disease, and I'm particularly knowledgeable about this, not because I'm a doctor, but because my grandfather had Parkinson's disease, the one I lived very close to in Iowa, where I grew up. And I saw him every single week. And that guy, for my entire life, had these tremoring hands. As part of my childhood, I saw it close up, and maybe perhaps you've seen somebody with Parkinson's as well. Presumably, you could just head on down to any nursing home and find somebody with the exact same decline features as Joe Biden is featuring right now. Now, some of the other Parkinson's signals, right, that you see here, according to the Mayo Clinic, is the tremors are common, but the disorder also causes stiffness and slowness of movement. In the early stages of Parkinson's disease, your face may show little to no expression. Do you remember Joe Biden at the debate? Remember that? Like, what? Dude, there's 100 million people watching. Why do you look lobotomized? Joe Biden at the debate, there's like pictures of it. Right? With his mouth all slack-jawed. You almost feel bad for him, right? Arrest Joe Biden for elder abuse. Arrest her. Arrest her. Arms may not swing when you walk. Your speech may become soft and slurred. And the condition progresses over time. All of this is like, dude, this is clinical for what's going on with Joe Biden right now. And we bring all of this up. Oh, we have the church video. Okay. I mean, we have the church video. You can see here. We don't need to play audio with it. You need to like punch forward to like pretty much the last 20 seconds of the video. And you can see Joe Biden's hand. You can see Joe Biden's hand like nervously ticking, moving certainly at a speed that wouldn't be like him just having fun. And moving involuntarily, right? So these are the kind of things that make us say, wait a second, this is a little strange. And then lo and behold, yesterday, I think we have this clip. Yesterday, Joe Biden was asked on Morning Joe, who Morning Joe's his favorite show, and these people know a lot, Joe Scarborough, Mika Brzezinski, they know quite a bit about what's going on in this White House because they're very well sourced inside of this White House, much like Tucker Carlson would be well sourced inside of a Trump White House. I don't like their show. It's not like we tune in, but like it's worth giving credit where credit is due. They know what's going on. They kept asking about Parkinson's. Here, listen.
Have you been tested for any age-related illnesses, pre-Parkinson's, or anything like that that might explain sort of having a night like that where you couldn't finish sentences?
Look, I had before, I was feeling so badly before the debate. When I came back, they tested me for, I thought maybe I had COVID, maybe there was something wrong, I had an infection or something. They tested me, they gave me those tests, I was clear. So, but look, I had a bad night. But the fact of the matter is, look at what I'm doing. I mean, let me put it this way. If there was something that was wrong that night, it's not like it comes and that's one night and it goes away. That's why I've been out. I've been testing myself, been testing everywhere I go, going out and making the case. The night of that debate, I went out. I was out till 2 o'clock in the morning that very night. That very night. It drives me nuts, people talking about this.
It's strange because they've coached Joe Biden. They've obviously have very, very good PR, right? And so they've coached Joe Biden, who's an angry, visceral, psychotic man, who's like a mean, nasty person, right? Remember Jerry Wayne at the auto plant in Detroit, right? Where Joe Biden put his finger in his chest and screamed at him, spit in his face, right? Told him he's going to beat, he called him a horse's ass and told him he's going to be, that's the real Joe Biden. You've all seen that clip, right? This was in 2020. Right before they were like, okay, quick, hit the button, COVID, you know? Like, lock everyone down. You can't allow Joe Biden on the actual campaign trail. And they changed politics forever, right? Then they created the insulated president because of Joe Biden. Joe Biden, this is not like Joe Biden's normal, this is not Joe Biden's normal state to be like this calm, like soft-spoken old man. Now, some of it may be part of the Parkinson's and part of the degenerative disease that's happening to Joe Biden. But I think a lot of it's coaching because they've crafted this image of Joe Biden being this like sensitive, sad, this sensitive, like soft-spoken old dude. And so, obviously Joe Biden broke character in that clip and started yelling in that clip from yesterday, MSNBC. Joe Biden is breaking character and starts saying, "This drives me nuts." He starts yelling, and he yelled multiple times during that interview. So Joe Biden's snapping, they're breaking. The walls are crumbling right now. And nothing demonstrated this better than the White House press conference yesterday. The White House press conference yesterday was so delicious because it was, one, because of the delicious tears that KJP cried. And she was on the verge of tears. Her lip was quivering and her eyes were watering up. You can see it. It's incredible. But because it is justice for these people who have been such liars and gaslighters to all of us and who demand different treatment. I was in the Trump briefing rooms. I was there. I was working as a media reporter, a corporate media reporter in Washington, D.C. I saw the literal frothing at the mouth. Like I saw Jim Acosta yelling questions where spittle would shoot out of his mouth. He was like spitting on Sarah Sanders. I saw the blood in these people's eyes. These journalists were rabid, okay? It was like a group of tiger sharks in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico when you just throw a bunch of like disgusting chum into the water. They were animals, okay, when it came to Trump. And they're just these little doves. There's these little like fluffy bunnies when it comes to the Biden White House. And they never ask tough questions and they never gang up. Remember how they all used to gang up on Sarah Sanders or Kayleigh McEnany and all these reporters would scream and yell together? That finally happened at the White House yesterday. It's an incredible moment. It's worth soaking it all in. And Cringe Jean-Pierre is going to need 1,000 hours on a therapy couch to get over just this day. Check it out.
Many of them get the care from the White House medical unit, and so need to be super careful. There are, the medical unit hosts a wide range of specialists, from dermatologists to neurologists, and so I cannot speak to every person because there's actually a security reasons to protect their privacy. We respect and protecting people's privacy, so do not want to share. I'm not going to share people's names from here, but the president, I can tell you, has seen a neurologist 3 times, as it's connected to a physical that he gets every year that we provide to all of you.
It's a very basic, direct question.
Wait. Hold on. Wait a second.
8 times, or at least once, in regards to the president specifically.
Hold on a second.
Not what you should be able to answer by this point.
Wait, no.
About it.
No, wait a minute. Ed, please. A little respect here, please. So every year, around the president's physical examination, he sees a neurologist. That's 3 times, right? So I am telling you that he has seen a neurologist 3 times while he has been in this presidency. That's what I'm saying. I am telling you that he has seen them 3 times. That is what I'm sharing with you, right? So every time he has a physical, he has had to see a neurologist. So that is answering that question.
No, it's not.
No, it is. It is. You're
Dr.
asking me.
Kevin Kennard come to the White House
But I
specifically about
also
the
said to you,
president's condition.
Ed, I also said to you, for security reasons, we cannot share names. We cannot share names.
You cannot
we
share
have
names
to. We have
of
to.
others he would have met with.
We
But
cannot.
You can share names in regards to if someone came here in regards
we
to the
cannot
president.
share. We cannot share names of specialists broadly, from a dermatologist to a neurologist. We cannot share names. There are security reasons. We have to. We have to protect.
It's public.
I understand that.
looked it up before I came out
I
here.
hear
It's
you.
right there for anyone to see.
Ed, I hear you. I cannot from here confirm any of that because we have to keep their privacy. I think they would appreciate that too. We have to give them.
Question at the doctor.
We have to keep their privacy.
It is
It's
public.
public information.
I
It is
hear you.
listed that he
I
went
am.
to
you're
I-
gonna allow this to fester longer, Kareem, unless the White House answers the
hold on a
question.
second. There's no reason to get back and go back and forth and be in this aggressive way.
Miffed around here about how information's been shared with the press corps
What do
about him.
you missed about? What do you miss
Everything
about?
he just asked about.
What do you? And then every time I come back and I answer the question that you guys
answered it
asked.
correctly, didn't have to come back and clean it
I
up
never
two days
answered the
later.
question incorrectly. That is not true. I was asked about a medical exam. I was asked about a physical. That was in the line of question that I answered. And I said, no, he did not have a medical exam. And I still stand by that. Matter of fact, the president still stands by that. He had a verbal check-in. That is something that the president has a couple times a week. A couple times a week.
Now in regards to Dr. Kevin Kennard.
And I am telling you right now that I am not sharing confirming names from here. It is the security reasons. I am not going to do that, Ed. It doesn't matter how hard you push me. It doesn't matter how angry you get with me. I'm not going to confirm a name. It doesn't matter if it's even in the log. I am not going to do that from here. That is not something I am going to do. What I can share with you is that the president has seen a neurologist for his physical 3 times. 3 times. And it is in the reporting that we share a comprehensive reporting. Matter of fact, it's more than what the last guy shared, and it is in line with what George W. Bush did. It's in line with what Obama did. And so it is comprehensive. It is out there. I just read a quote from it, but I am not going to divulge somebody's name or confirm someone. I'm not going to do that. That is as privacy for that person. I'm not going to do that. It doesn't matter how hard you push me. It doesn't matter how angry you get with me from here. I'm just not going to do that. It is inappropriate. It is not acceptable. So I'm not going to do it.
Not about the name.
Go ahead.
If you
No, go ahead.
cannot confirm the name, can you confirm whether or not the president has seen this Parkinson's specialist? And you mentioned 3 times, but the visitor logs show a duration of 8 visits over 8 months. I think that is the crux of the question.
But I also said there are thousands of military personnel that come to the White House, and they are under the care of the medical unit. They are.
So can you confirm that the Parkinson's specialist visits were for the president or not?
What I can tell you is that the president has seen a neurologist 3 times, and I read to you what the neurologist has said. And I read to you the last line. I could say it again. No findings which would be consistent with any cerebellar or other central neurological disorders such as stroke, multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's, or ascending lateral sclerosis. That is from February. That is coming from February. That is what the medical unit, the president's doctor, shared. And I said to you, it's happened 3 times. Each time there is a physical that occurs and we put out a comprehensive report, that is when he has been able to see a specialist. So that's what I can share.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, as we have said before, the world's greatest monsters are the people who would do this to anyone who's infirmed. Joe Biden is handicapped. You're abusing a handicapped person. This is, frankly, a crime. The cover-up is a crime as well. Kamala Harris is the beating heart of this cover-up. Kamala Harris meets with Joe Biden regularly. She knows this. The entire team knows this. They're aware of what's going on. We're very, very happy that Chip Roy said that he'd be in favor of a Truth and Reconciliation January 6th style committee to look at the mental decline of Joe Biden from an investigative standpoint, and to see who the culprits were, right? An important reminder that Biden's own DOJ declared him mentally handicapped. That's what they declared him. They said Joe Biden is so mentally infirmed he can't stand trial. That's what Joe Biden's own DOJ said about him in her report. And yet he's out here declaring that he's going to be president again. And he's ready to be president again. His own DOJ has declared him unfit to serve. And so who are we going to listen to? Man, I think we should listen to maybe a Parkinson's expert, because the dam is now breaking in Washington, D.C. Right now at the DNC headquarters, there is a meeting going on with Democrats huddling to try and mitigate this disaster. So often it's Republicans who are on their back feet with a national crisis, right? That has either been created or manufactured by the media. Now it's Democrats. I mean, truly, it's Democrats now. And Republicans are set and prepared to hold Merrick Garland in contempt. That's going to happen tomorrow. Donald Trump is now breaking his silence, getting back on the campaign trail, and things seem to be looking up. Let's listen so you heard Karine Jean-Pierre do what she is paid to do, which is lie on behalf of Joe Biden, have a meltdown, actually a literal meltdown at the White House. Reporters doing their job and asking full-throated questions to KJP about their lies and then calling her out on the lies. It's incredible. The guy's in the front row. His name Ed O'Keefe. He's a reporter for CBS News. And you've never seen this in the Biden era. You've never seen it. And so what do the experts have to say? A Parkinson's expert was on TV this morning on NBC News, corporate television, talking about what's happening to Joe Biden. And this is a guy who's spent his entire life researching Parkinson's. And he says, and this is on corporate cable TV, Joe Biden has Parkinson's. Watch.
Noticed anything that gives you a red flag as a doctor?
Oh, yeah. I see him 20 times a day in clinic. I mean, it's ironic because he has just such classic features of neurodegeneration. I mean, word finding difficulties, and that's not, I couldn't find the word. That's from degeneration of the word retrieval area.
He's also overcome stuttering, though. Could that be part of that, too?
No, this is not a palatal issue or a speech discrepancy, which is very different from a lemino dysfunction, actual word retrieval, where you pick a similar question or talk around the issue, plus the rigidity, monotone voice.
Wait, go back to that, the rigidity. What do you mean?
Rigidity, loss of arm swing, standing up lordotically. You notice when he turns, it's kind of end block turning. It's not a quick turn. So that's one of the hallmarks of Parkinson's is rigidity and bradykinesia, slow movement. And he has that hallmark, especially with the low voice. They said was a cold hypophonia. A small monotone voice like this over time is a hallmark of Parkinsonism. I could have diagnosed him from across the mall.
Here are some of the symptoms from Parkinson's. We just had him up there on the screen. If we can put him back. What about the movement? Some people have pointed out the way he walks. Sometimes it's not very fast, small steps. Is that something that is common in people who are battling a disease like Parkinson's?
Yeah, it's a hallmark. Shuffling gait, we call that, so little steps. Loss of arm swing from the rigidity. When we walk, we have a nice cadence. You notice he doesn't really swing his arms. And end block turning, meaning he kind of pivots around his foot. If you said, hey, President Biden, he wouldn't go like this. So, yeah.
But I also know, and tell me if I'm wrong here, it's very hard to diagnose Parkinson's, isn't it? It's not simple. I mean, I've heard that it can be.
It's one of the easier movement disorders to diagnose, actually.
Right,
but it's so clinic. There's very little other. And I'm a Democrat. I always say about this.
Right.
It's just like this guy is not a hard case.
But I've had relatives who have gone through neurological issues, and I've heard that sometimes Parkinson's is not very easy to nail. You have to take a lot of tests.
It's early on. If you're just presented with like hallucinations, that could be a variety of things, or just the cognitive problems. That could be Alzheimer's versus Parkinsonism, and that becomes a little nebulous. But once you start manifesting the hallmark motor symptoms,
right?
Slow movement, rigidity, mass facies, hypophonia. I mean, if a med student did not pick Parkinson's on the test, they'd be remediated.
So let me ask you, you're a Democrat, you're a doctor. You sound like you're frustrated with what the White House is saying.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, because, I'm an American before everything. And I look at it and say, when I used to see Russia, Soviet Union, North Korea, when they just make outrageous things, like when North Korea can't keep the lights on and they say, it was some faulty power thing. I kind of hate that kind of stuff. They had 4 years. My own party had 4 years to find, this was a wreck in slow motion. And they had 4 years to find out of 350 Americans, one person that could take the place. And here we are the day before school trying to do the homework and replace a guy who's got a neurodegenerative disease.
Dr. Pitt.
Who is that? Okay, hold on. So he's an expert. Producers, can I get his name? What's his name? That guy's awesome. Let's book him on the show. He's like, I'm a Democrat. Why are we doing this to this guy? And the paid shill there for NBC News is like, well, because, it's very hard to diagnose. The doctor's like, no, it's not. I've done this my entire life. Look at him. The stiffness in the gait.
Well, since somebody in my family said it was hard.
Shut up. You're fake news. You're like North Korea. That's what the guy just said. That's an amazing clip.